Hey everyone, Roxabox90 here with the final monocolored part of the full Theros set review. We're going to deal with white and then multicolor, and then we're done. Woo! Okay, so going through white. Observant Alcide is just not all that great. Obviously it's a common, so it's not supposed to be, but not great. Cavalry Pegasus is also pretty limited. At most limited, I don't even think it's so good there. Celestial Archon is a huge bomb. Of course, limited pick. Very, very solid, and it's going to be for a lot of casual players a very, very nice card. It actually, I think the Bestow it's expensive, but potentially it has some potential for casual build EDH. I'll say that. Gift of Immortality is insane, and limited it's going to be unfair. Outside of unlimited, it has some potential because it makes stuff nearly unkillable, just because a lot of removal in our format, new format, is going to be sorcery speed. So yeah, I think it definitely has potential. Chain to Rocks is going to be a shoo-in in tons of decks. It's a huge removal spell, even with, I mean, we don't have exactly a lot of land destruction, and even with that, it's just a fantastic Swords of Plowshares effect. It's going to see the play, guys. Make sure you get some. Vanquish the Foul is too slow. I think even for limited, it's such cool art, but it's just not there. Elspeth, we talked about already. God's Willing, I think, is very solid because it protection the color of your choice. The Scry is fine, but also it hits heroic and it allows your guys to be unblockable, and it protects against removal. Very cool card. Phalanx Leader is one of the better heroics, but it's too white, so you kind of have to draft towards white to make it work. But I think it's one of the better heroics, especially if you're running a bunch of weenies. 100-handed one is very flavorful. I just don't think it's that good. It's okay in limited, but it's not going to see play elsewhere. Wings, outside of maybe casual. Wingsteed Rider it's just aggravating, only gets 1+1. That's all the heroic does. It gets slightly stronger. It's not all that great. I mean, you remove the heroic, it's pretty much the same. Glare of Heresy is our Voice of Resurgence card, and it's going to see some play in constructed sideboards. Heliod is going to be nice for mirror matchups among control, and I think it has serious potential in constructed. He's not quite horrific, but I still don't think he's the best god for sure. He's fine. He's definitely not the prima donna crazy card he himself espouses himself to be. Spear of Heliod we talked about already. Favored Hoplite is you get a 1/1 counter, prevent damage. Definitely a solid drop in limited, but also the fact he's a human soldier means he does have some potential for white weenie stuff going forward. Heliod's Emissary taps down whenever it or the enchanted creature attacks. So 4 for a 3/3 is fine. The Bestow is, again, too expensive. Soldier of the Pantheon is very, very nice. The multicolored, there's lots of great multicolored out there. The 2/1 body is great. It definitely has cube potential, and I like it a lot. Ordeal of Heliod's like the rest of the ordeals. Fabled Hero is huge. It's kind of taking over for Silverblade Paladin, or it's in it, it's another Silverblade Paladin, basically, is what it is. I think it's very powerful. And constructed potential for sure as a human. Dauntless Onslaught, I was going to say Escort. Onslaught, huge limited card. Pick it up for limited if you're running your limited. Instant speed for that effect is great. Battle-Wise Valor, we enter the new cards. 2+2 until end of turn in Scry. It's not all that good. Divine Verdict for 4 mana to do that. In limited, it might be okay, and that's about it. Decorated Griffin, 2/3 flying, prevents damage dealt to you. It's too expensive. Chosen of Heliod, draws a card and gives O+2. Again, it's a heroic enabler that cantrips, so okay that way, but O+2 is really not such a big deal. Ephara's Warden, tap target creature with power 3 or less. For the amount of mana she costs, it's not worth it. Last Breath, exile power with 2 or less for 2 instant speed. Its controller gains 4 life. That 4 life makes a big difference. So, instant speed against voice doesn't necessarily help you so much. So, yeah, I'm actually taking back what I said in the original spoilers because we see Glare of Heresy, which is probably going to be better played than Last Breath. Lagana Band Elder, if you control enchantment, you gain 3 life. 3 for 3/2 is really the real reason to consider running it, but yeah, it's not that good. Hopeful Eidolon, we can't really read it. So it's 1 for 1/1 lifelink, and that's probably all it does. So not that great. Evangel of Heliod, 6 for 1/3, enter the battlefield, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to your devotion. I think that could be pretty good for a token, especially in limited. It's just going to land you a lot of power potentially on the field because it itself is too white. So I think this actually is a pretty solid limited pick if you're running some sort of token aggro sort of thing. Citizen Battle Priest is, even with their heroics, not that good. Scholar of Athreos. Each opponent loses 1 life, you gain life equal. It's kind of like an extort for 3. So for long attrition game, if you're running some sort of control build in limited, this will be a solid card. Ray of Dissolution destroys an enchantment for 3. It's just too expensive. I don't think it's there, especially if the gods are indestructible anyway. So yeah. Leonine Snarecaster, 2/1 for 2. That taps a creature when it hits play. It's nice tempo. 2 body makes the 2 drop, decent. Yoked Ox is boring and bad. Traveling Philosopher is boring bear. It's a female bear, pretty much. Silent Artisan is 3/5 for 5. Again, really boring. And Citizen Sphinx is a 5 for a 3/2 flying, which is actually okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that good. So a lot of the limited stuff even is not all that awesome. A lot of it's pretty janky and terrible. So it seems like we've seen most of the good stuff from earlier, and there's not a whole lot of new. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts about the final monocolored grouping below in the comment section. And stay tuned for the final video, the multicolor, which will be coming at you soon. Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.